You were never weak. You were just uninformed. The moment a man begins to understand the female mind, something shifts. He no longer chases. He no longer doubts. He watches and decides. That's when the hidden power reveals itself, not in loud displays, but in strategic silence, in emotional control, in detachment. And what she used to get away with, suddenly, it doesn't work anymore. Most men live years blind to it, then wonder why they keep losing. But once you see it, really see it, there's no turning back. The truth, she doesn't want a man she can lead. She wants a man she can't move. And once you understand her nature, you become immovable. If this message resonates with you, even just a bit, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a quick comment, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. You never know whose mindset you might shift just by passing this forward. This isn't just about women. It's about reclaiming your frame as a man and finally owning your place in a world that wants you soft. The hidden power of a man who understands the female mind. Most men are reacting. Very few are reading. The truth is, there's a hidden power in any man who steps back from his emotions and studies female nature with clarity. He doesn't fight her tests. He expects them. He doesn't argue her feelings. He sees through them. This isn't about playing games. It's about stepping into a frame so solid that even chaos respects it. And the first thing he learns, women don't want to lead. They want to feel something stronger than themselves. That strength isn't loud. It's not aggression. It's the man who can hold his ground in silence when provoked. That's silent strength, and she feels it. Like static in the air before a storm, she knows when she's near a man who isn't swayed by her mood swings or emotional chaos. He's mastered emotional control, and because of that he becomes rare, almost dangerous. Not to her safety, but to her illusions. That's when attraction shifts from surface to soul. See, a woman doesn't fall for words, she falls for presence. And presence isn't gifted, it's built. It comes from discipline, from years of not folding when life pushed back. The man who leads with grounded energy activates something deep inside her, a craving to follow. But here's the twist. If she senses he's trying to win her approval, he's already lost. That's the validation trap, and most men never escape it. Why? Because they're still seeking love like little boys. Let's cut deeper. The man who truly understands women never needs to raise his voice. His inner game speaks louder than any performance. When he enters a room, he doesn't need attention. He commands it without trying. She studies him, tests him, pushes his buttons. Why? Not because she wants him weak, but because she wants to feel his masculine energy under pressure. If he cracks, he's forgettable. If he holds his line, he's unforgettable. She won't say it out loud, but she's always watching how you handle pressure, especially hers. That's where respect dynamics are born. Not in how much you provide, but in how unshakable you remain when she's unpredictable. She respects what she can't shake. That's why boundaries aren't barriers, they're turn-ons. The man who says no without flinching unlocks her deepest trust. Not because he controls her, but because he controls himself. There's a story I'll never forget. A guy named Marcus, early 30s, corporate job, always doing the right thing. He bought gifts, wrote poems, listened for hours. Still, every girl left him crushed. Until one day, he stopped asking why they left and started asking what he was missing. That's when he discovered psychological mastery. Instead of performing, he studied her patterns. Within a year, he wasn't chasing anymore. Women started chasing him, and he didn't even change his cologne. Here's what Marcus learned. Women are drawn to the unknown. When a man becomes predictable, he becomes replaceable. But when a man moves with stoic mindset, calmly aware of the red flags, refusing to emotionally beg or explain himself, he becomes magnetic. Not needy, not cold, just untouchable. That's the real power shift. It's not about becoming heartless, it's about becoming whole. And in that wholeness, he finally sees her clearly for what she is and what she's not. Most men think they need to do more, text more, compliment more, prove more. But that's not what sparks desire. Desire comes from space, from mystery, from detachment. When she doesn't know exactly how you feel, when you're not available 24/7, she wonders. And when a woman wonders, she invests. That's the leverage most men throw away. Sexual leverage isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding timing, scarcity, and your value as a man. Don't just give yourself. Be earned. Here's what no one tells you. Women are emotional strategists, not evil, just wired differently. She'll test your words against your actions, your tone against your energy. And if she senses weakness behind your smile, the dark feminine in her will rise, not to destroy you, but to challenge your worth. The moment you start explaining yourself to win favor, you've surrendered your male authority. And once she holds that power, she won't respect you. It's brutal, but it's biology. Now imagine this. You're on a date. She brings up her crazy ex. Not once, 3 times. Most guys nod, comfort, relate. But the aware man hears something else. Red flags. He doesn't react, doesn't judge. He simply listens and files the data. That's manipulation awareness in action. You don't need to call it out. You don't need to lecture her. You simply observe patterns. And from that point forward, you lead the dynamic, not emotionally, but intellectually. This isn't about being cold. It's about emotional resilience, the ability to hear something that would shatter most men and stay centered. You don't panic when she's moody. You don't crumble when she pulls away. You remain rooted in stoicism. Why? Because her emotions aren't the weather. You are. You set the tone. You don't chase storms, you outlast them. That's why the strong man attracts even the strongest woman. Not because he pleases her, but because he grounds her. Look, it's easy to fall into the trap of trying to be nice. But nice without strength is manipulation. It's performance, it's weakness disguised as kindness. The man who understands female nature knows that approval can never replace self-respect. If you say yes when you mean no, you're not being kind, you're being fake. And fake men are forgotten, but the man who holds his truth without apology, that's the man she never forgets, even if she walks away. Ever wonder why women revisit men they once rejected? It's not the car, not the money. It's because something shifted. He stopped performing and started leading. He reclaimed his boldness, and in doing so, he activated something ancient, something she couldn't quite name, but couldn't ignore. Women remember how a man made them feel. And the man who stood in his frame, firm but calm, never needing them to feel valuable, leaves an imprint no pretty boy ever could. This is where most men quit. Right here. The moment she pulls away, acts cold, tests him hard, that's when the weak man starts chasing, and the strong man starts leading. He doesn't react to her moves. He responds with strategic silence. He doesn't get emotional. He anchors deeper in his inner game. And she feels it. Not just sees it, feels it. That's the shift. From chasing her love to commanding her respect. And respect lasts longer than lust ever will. Let's be real. If she doesn't respect your no, she was never going to respect your yes. A man who lives in boundaries isn't hard to love. He's hard to manipulate. And that's what terrifies the wrong woman and attracts the right one. When you calmly say, "This doesn't work for me," and mean it, without yelling, begging, or over-explaining, you show power shift in real time. She may flinch, she may resist, but deep down, she respects what stands still under pressure. A man with psychological mastery never fights for a spot in a woman's life. He offers value, shows up fully, and lets her decide if she's ready to meet him where he stands. He doesn't argue when she pulls away. He doesn't beg when she goes cold. He simply pauses and watches. His strength isn't in chasing. It's in walking away when respect is gone. And oddly enough, that's when many women wake up. Because his absence feels stronger than another man's presence. And here's the paradox. When you stop trying to win her, you start winning her. The man who moves with masculine energy doesn't push or pull. He simply is. He becomes an anchor in her storm. Not by force, but by clarity. Women crave a man who knows what he wants and won't bend for approval. And if you've made it this far in the video, it means something inside you is waking up. So here's what I ask you to do right now. Pause for a second, tap that like button, subscribe, and drop a quick comment below. It tells the algorithm this kind of content matters, and it tells other men that they're not alone in this awakening. Because what's coming next might just be the part no one ever told you, and it changes everything. When a woman meets a man with true emotional control, she feels both safe and challenged. Safe because she knows he won't spiral. Challenged because she can't predict his every move. That balance, It drives her wild. She can cry, scream, pull away, and he stays steady, not robotic, not passive, just unshaken. And the more she pushes, the more she realizes, this man isn't reacting to her world. He's rooted in his own. That's the foundation of high-value man energy. Let's be honest, some women won't like this version of you, the one who doesn't chase, who doesn't beg, who sees through games. And that's okay. Because this journey isn't about being liked, it's about being aligned. When you shed the need to be chosen, you finally choose yourself. And in that self-choosing, you activate a frequency that only certain women can hear. The rest, they fade. And that's not rejection, that's refinement. She's not looking for perfection, she's looking for polarity, a contrast to her chaos. A man who doesn't mirror her moods, but redirects them. That's what Stoic mindset provides, not indifference, but leadership. And leadership in love means this: when she loses herself in emotion, you don't lose yourself with her. You stay calm, breathe deep, and guide the energy back to center. That's not just attractive, it's unforgettable. Have you noticed how most men try to control the woman when the real mastery is learning to control the reaction? You don't have to dominate her. You just have to stop letting her emotions dominate you. That's the secret most never learn. The truth? She's not impressed by how loud you speak. She's impressed by how still you remain. That's silent strength in action. And the more you practice it, the more powerful you become. Every time you speak from emotion instead of principle, you give away power. That doesn't mean you can't feel. It means you don't let those feelings lead. The man who embodies Stoicism knows when to speak and when to let silence speak for him. And women, they notice. They feel the shift in the room when a man listens without needing to react. That's strategic silence, not passive, not distant, but powerful, because it makes her confront herself in your presence. A woman will never say, "I need you to be a man," but she will feel when you're not. And when you collapse into neediness, when your world orbits around her attention, she feels it. The air gets heavy. The magic dies. The man who walks in frame doesn't orbit. He anchors. He can love deeply without losing himself. That's not just strength. That's psychological mastery in motion. And it forces her to choose, rise to his level or disappear. Now think about this. Most relationships don't fail from lack of love. They fail from lack of polarity. She becomes the masculine energy, directing, controlling, leading. And he becomes the feminine, chasing, pleading, reacting. But when you reverse that with masculine energy, she softens. She doesn't have to fight anymore. She feels safe to surrender, not because she's weak, but because you're strong enough to lead with calm direction. That's where true connection is born. Some men ask, how do I practice all this? Simple. Start in the mirror. Every morning, before the world touches you, anchor your inner game. Meditate, journal, lift, walk without your phone. Set one boundary today, even if it's small. When you begin leading yourself, you'll naturally lead others. And women will feel it before you even say a word. The energy of a man who leads himself is magnetic. It's not shown, it's sensed. That's where real boldness begins. There's something primal in how women sense weakness. It's not always conscious, but it's always accurate. She may not know why she lost attraction, only that something inside her switched off. The man who understands manipulation awareness doesn't blame her for that. He looks at where he gave away his edge, where he became too soft, too available, too eager. Then he reclaims his edge, not with anger, but with clarity, because attraction isn't personal, it's energetic. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't saying more, it's saying nothing. When she throws drama, silence can be a mirror. When she pulls away, space can be a message, not out of punishment, but because you've reclaimed your self-respect. You're not playing games, you're playing chess. And every piece you move, every silence you hold says, I'm not afraid to lose someone who doesn't value me. That's what detachment really means. It's not coldness, it's clarity in motion. Let's flip the lens for a second. Imagine a man who's calm, composed, and clear, but not rigid. He laughs when it's time. He listens when it matters. And when things get hard, he doesn't fold, he grounds. That man isn't performing masculinity, he's embodying it. That's high-value man energy in action. And in a world full of noise and confusion, he becomes a sanctuary. Not because he says he is, but because she feels safer around him than away from him. Here's what most men miss. A woman's chaos isn't always drama, it's data. If you observe without reacting, you start to see patterns, you stop personalizing. That's when you stop fighting her fire and start containing it. The man who practices emotional resilience doesn't flinch when she's unpredictable. He holds space, not to fix her, but to reveal her. Because real strength isn't how fast you react, it's how long you can hold your position without needing validation. You'll know you're evolving when peace feels better than attention, when silence feels better than explaining, when you'd rather lose her than lose yourself. That's when Stoic mindset becomes second nature, not something you do, but something you are. Women pick up on that instantly. They know when they can't push you into reaction. And in that moment, a shift happens. You stop being just another guy. You become the standard she measures others against. She won't always thank you for it. She might get frustrated, even lash out when she can't shake you. But underneath that reaction is curiosity and respect. Because in a world full of fragile egos and emotional outbursts, silent strength is rare. It feels different. It feels stable. And stability is what women crave when they're tired of being the strong one. You don't need to prove anything. Just stand still and let the storm break around you, not inside you. So what's next? You practice. You notice your patterns. You catch yourself when you start seeking approval or explaining too much. You remind yourself, male authority isn't about control, it's about presence. The power of being unapologetically you, even if it costs you temporary comfort. And the more you step into that, the more you'll see women react differently. Not because you're acting, but because you've finally stopped acting and started leading. Not every woman will understand this version of you. Some will try to shame you, others will walk away. Let them, because your job isn't to be accepted by everyone. It's to align with the few who see your frame and respect it. That's not arrogance, that's awareness. And when a woman meets a man who's aware of his value, who walks in boldness without bragging, she either rises to meet him or exits silently. Either way, you win. Eventually, all of this becomes second nature. You no longer wonder, what does she want? Because you're focused on what you want and whether she fits into that vision. That's where power shift becomes permanent. You're not controlled by her attention. You're not moved by her games. You live from principle. You lead with clarity. And in that clarity, you attract women who want peace, not power over you. That's the quiet reward of this path. And one day, without effort, you'll find yourself sitting across from a woman who doesn't test, doesn't push, doesn't manipulate. Not because women changed, but because you did. She feels your inner game before you speak. She knows there's no need to pretend, perform, or compete. She feels safe, and so do you. That's the real hidden power. Not in what you say, but in what you no longer need to say. And it all started the moment you chose to understand her, without losing yourself. What kind of man do you want to be when she walks into the room? The one who bends, breaks, and explains himself just to feel chosen, or the one who already chose himself long before she arrived? This journey isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming clear, because once you understand the female mind, you stop reacting and start leading. So I'll ask you, where in your life have you traded your power for her attention? Where have you silenced your truth just to keep the peace? And are you willing today to take that power back? Drop in the comments. I see it now. I'm not here to be chosen. I choose. Say it out loud, then write it, then live it. Thank you, truly, for staying with me until the very end of this video. It means you're serious, and that already separates you from 90% of men. If this hit you deeply, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with another man who needs to hear it. Like, comment, and subscribe so we can continue building this awareness together. There's more coming, and you won't want to miss it.